All right, gentlemen, this is a totally different style video than I would ever and I have ever done on my YouTube channel. And I wanted to do this because not only was I called to do this, but as many of you may know or may not know, this year in 2024, whenever you're watching this video, I became a mother myself to a beautiful baby boy. And as a mother, I have developed, I think I've always had this, but I've also developed a new sense of awareness when it comes to men and the mother wound and just in general of me being a mother. And now that Mother Day is over with and has approached, I wanted to post this video because I know that a lot of times Mother's Day can be really hard for a lot of men that don't have that relationship that they wish they had with their mother. I'm going to be very honest with you. I think a father role for a man plays a significant role, but I also know that a woman's role plays an instrumental amount of significance in a man's life. And two things can happen that I've thought about so much when a man struggles with his mother and in his life. And I've seen this so much in coaching. And first and foremost, I want to just preface this and just give a moment to the gentleman that I'm talking to in this video right now without getting emotional, because I am a mother and I feel it a little bit more, is the man that has or always wish to have a better relationship with your mother. Ooh. I know for sure it's hard. And these days don't come around easy. And sometimes maybe they're easier as the years go on, right? But I want to reassure you that sometimes when we have these wounds, we can sometimes blame ourselves for some things. But I also do want to reassure you of one thing, is that if your relationship failed with your mother and your needs were not met, your basic needs of love, communication, safety, and just the nurturing were not met, it is not your fault. And I want to be really clear with that. It is not your fault. And so many times we can put the blame on ourselves because a lot of men end up being their mother's advocate to help them, to be the voice of reason for them, and take on a lot of their problems. And that's what's so unfortunate about this. And then that plays in their lives of relationships with women. And so the reason why I wanted to do this video is because there's two things that constantly come up for me when I'm a mother myself and in raising a son. And now that Mother's Day has approached, not only do I want to support you men that this will speak to you, but I also want to reassure you that this is something that you can do for yourself too. Okay. And first part of this is me shining a light on what that looks like, and also maybe shining a light on maybe what avenue you fall in, either one or the two. So two of the things that I recognize within myself as a mother raising a son is there's going to be a time that I'm going to have to let go. And I think the mother's relationship with the son is so important to give him love and to give him nurturing and to always support him and be there for him. But there's also another side where a mother has to let go. A mother has to prepare him to be a husband and to make his wife the priority. And it's not to say that a mother is never going to be a priority, but it's also to say, I have a responsibility to make this man, this little boy that will be a man one day, a great husband, a great man in the world, a great leader in the world, and know that every emotion that he has is valid and so much. And when a man doesn't receive this as a little boy, what happens so much and what I've noticed is they gravitate towards women that are kind of having similarities as their mother. Maybe avoidant, maybe lack of acknowledgement for who they are. And I've said this before, and I've said this many times, is men, you're dating women because of a trauma response from the upbringing. And instead, what you're trying to do is you're trying to rewrite your beginning instead of just rewriting your ending and choosing better women. And so one of the things that I've noticed is when we come from a household and we don't get that nurturing component from our mother, and we just become avoidant. Our mother is avoidant. Men will seek this in other women, and they will try to chase women because this part of them feels familiar. And because it feels familiar, they latch onto it and they say, if I convince this woman to love me, that means that everything before this didn't mean anything. But instead, what will happen is you'll be endless chase, because ideally what you're searching for is you're searching for love in someone who can't give it to you, because the familiarity is what lives there. You're attracted to that, not because you're attracted to it because that's what you want. You're attracted to that feeling because that's what you were raised with. And so that's why it's so important for you to make better choices about what you want in your life, what you need in your life. And so the second note to this is, as a mother, as I think about this too, is the part of letting go. Like as a mom, like I've seen this so much with mothers in general. And I think moms are, oh God, I can't even go into that. But mothers have such a hard role. And I have a respect for women that are all mothers. But in general, like not everybody is ready to be a mom. It takes a lot of work. And understand that you have to come to forgiveness for your parents or your mom if you have this relationship, and not saying like, I'm going to forgive you and just give you the world. It's no, I got to forgive and let go, because they did the best that they knew how to do in that moment. And also too, the essence of what I've seen on the other side is letting go is so important for a mother with a son. It's completely different for a girl, I think. And hear me out for a second before all my women or girl moms talk to me about this, but just hear me out for a second. What I've noticed in just my coaching practice is when I have a man that's been coaching with me and came from feminine worlds, a mother and all sisters. Maybe his voice was not heard and his sisters speak over him all the time, or he was just babied a lot with them. What happens is he doesn't come off in this world today as a leader. He's always looking for reassurance sometimes, or she's very shy, more plays in his feminine. And I think in order to build a strong man, like a father role plays a huge part of this too, but also a mother plays a huge part of this too. And I think one of the most important things that we can understand, and as a mom, and you guys can understand as men listening to a woman, is that if you grew up in a household where it was just women or just your mom, and you notice that you step more into your feminine and you also don't take action, are not very disciplined, always looking for second opinions, can't make decisions, scared to kind of get out of your comfort zone, many of the times it's because you were overly nurtured by the mother. And part of raising a young boy is to nurture him 1000%. But part of a boy is to teach him how to go about the world and conquer the world and live in his masculine and make mistakes. And it's just like raising a girl. Like you want to let go and let her, but she's still, for a young girl, it's completely different. Because when we really think about it, we pull back the curtain of like what life is for a man. Life is completely different for a man than it is for a woman. And so many women will argue with me about this, and I don't care. And I will argue with them until I'm blue to the face. Life is hard for men. Life is hard for women. But I honestly can tell you that I think that our hards are completely different. And as a woman myself, like if we were to ever go to war, I don't want to be called. Like, I want to be a woman. But that's the thing, is like, we have to teach our men what strength is. And strength isn't just about physical protection. It's about emotional intelligence, emotional strength, leadership skills, having a voice, having an opinion, being decisive. And I think many times when men lack this, they have to learn how to rebuild this. And that's what's so important. So if you feel like this, you're falling into one of these two groups, gentlemen that are listening, like, I want you to remember this. You will always escape in your romantic relationships unless you heal yourself. There is another thing that I want to talk about here that can be kind of, I think, confrontational maybe, but I'm a true believer in this, and I see it. I mean, I've coached over 5,000 men. I've been doing this for over 7 years, gentlemen. Like, I've been doing this a long time. This is truly a passion of mine. It lifts me up. It gives me energy. It gives me, like, I'm doing my purpose, my God will purpose I'm doing today. And, I see all these things, and I've seen them when I started my business, and I was so like, kind of like, whoa, why is this happening? And I was just searching for answers. But like, This whole thing of men just sleeping with a bunch of women is a cover. Typically, a man that sleeps with a bunch of women and is so proud of it has a mother wound. And the thing is, like, what he's searching for is love, but he's looking for love in the wrong places. And until he's able to really heal himself and look at love within himself and see the love within him, that is the time that he will be able to devote himself to one woman happily if that's what he chooses. And so, you know, we put this mask on and say, you know, I sleep with so many women and XYZ and I'm machismo, I'm a man. And a lot of men actually want to emulate that and they see that as super powerful and goals and all this. And I want to be clear with you is like, goals is not always sleeping with a bunch of women. Like, yeah, it's great to have intimacy with women. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure intimacy is great. But there comes a point in your life that I think every man wants more than just that. And I think also too, and what I'm noticing is men are so much more aware of what they want now. Men are getting to a point in their life where they're really wanting a woman that can be their support system, but also lift them up and vice versa. And they want a relationship that is healthy, that is bountiful, that is uplifting, that is communicative, that is emotionally available, that is commitment, that we work through it and resolve it. And I think this is really important because if you want this, you have to teach yourself how to do it with yourself first, especially if we've never created that and had that created for ourselves within the relationships we had with our parents. I know this video is completely different, but I just want to remind you, gentlemen, like, I had no plan. Like, I'm just speaking from the heart. I absolutely had no plan what I was going to say. But I also am just shifting in life, and I've noticed my clients are shifting. Everything is shifting. Everything is great. But I also know that the work what I do is so amazing, and I get so many men, so many results in their life that I don't need to like hide anymore on like being really authentic with you because I'm very confident in the messages that I deliver all the time. And I want to be able to have these conversations with you and have these conversations with men, specifically the men that need to hear this. And the men that came from great mothers, like support and father, for instance, support each other in the comments below. Don't just call a guy a simp. Don't just call a guy out. Like literally, like men need to support men more than ever these days. And I think like there's such a huge divide. And this is why men don't open up to other men, is because the moment that they do, they get knocked down. And so if you're a gentleman that's watching this video and if it spoke to you, please comment below. Tell me if you even like this style of video or what your thoughts are, or support me below because this is a little different for me. So of course it's a little nerve-wracking, but you know, I want to start doing these style videos just a little bit more here and there when it comes to a specific topic that I know is really important to you guys and that I just know that one of those men need to hear. So if you are a man that is going through a lot in his life and, you know, misses your mother or wishes you had a better relationship with your mother, I want you to understand that you're not alone. And, you know, the feelings that you have are valid completely. And your needs were not met as a child and it's not your fault. And once you understand this and you really bring that into yourself and say, I'm going to give myself peace in this moment because it's not my fault. And you take accountability and you take action to give yourself those needs that weren't met as a child, is when you're going to be able to love yourself wholeheartedly and be able to choose better women for yourself. Because I'm a true believer that there's so many great men out there that are just not guided in their lives or just don't know how to guide themselves in their lives and fall in these relationships with women that are just soul drenching, I should say, or soul sucking, instead of choosing women that are going to make you feel alive. But you're never going to get the woman that's going to make you feel alive if you're not feeling alive within yourself first. All right, gentlemen, much love to you. Comment below. And if this is your first time watching a video like this on my channel, or this is the first time to my channel, you can subscribe or, you know, watch some other videos and see if you like them. Much love to you. Remember, you're always loved.